I would like to continue by talking about a wonderful addition to the After Effects toolset, and that is the RotoBrush. You have in your project files a file called RotoBrush. Go ahead and create a new composition with that file. And there it is, rather funny or scary character. So what I want to do is I want to leave this character in focus and maybe have the background a little bit out of focus, maybe even change the blending mode to maybe highlight it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and use the RotoBrush for that. To use the RotoBrush, we need to use it in the layer panel. To open this in the layer panel, let's just go ahead and double click it, and there you go. This here is the RotoBrush, where I can indicate to After Effects which pixels I want to keep and which pixels I don't wish to keep. So I want to keep the pixels of the scary character. Notice the outline that I'm getting in this color purple. That means that After Effects is creating a mask for me. In the past, this kind of work needed to be done on a frame-by-frame basis, which takes a very, very long time and it's very tedious work. So even a short clip like this one would take a long, long time to process. So now I have told After Effects which pixels I want to keep. I would like to tell it which pixels are background or I don't want to keep. And I can do that by pressing and holding the Alt or Option key. And watch how the tool itself turns from a green to a red. Now I can tell it these pixels I don't want, these pixels I don't want. I am literally training the brush to tell it which pixels are the ones that I want to keep and which pixels are the ones that I don't want to keep. And if you make a mistake like I just did, all you have to do is undo it. As soon as you add the RotoBrush tool to your clip, what you're doing is that you're creating an effect. And here is the effect called the RotoBrush. Let me just go through this a little bit. I'm going to expand where it says propagation. And I am going to click on View Search Region. What happens here is that After Effects is going to look at these pixels in yellow to determine where the edge is. So I can make this a little bit smaller to be a little bit more precise. And I can change things like the motion threshold and motion damping. And I can also tell it what kind of edge detection I would like. So I can favor the predicted edges, I can leave it at balanced, which is default, or I can favor the current edges. This particular character doesn't move too much on the screen, so I think I'm going to favor the current edges. I don't need to see the search region anymore. I'm going to smooth it out, meaning I'm not going to have too many harsh lines, because this is not a very harsh rotoscoping that I want to do. It's just something to separate this character from the background. And I'll feather the edges a little bit. I can even choke this a tad so that the edges come in a little bit. And now I'm ready to do the tracking here. So one of the first things that I want to show you here at the bottom of the layer panel, this area here is the area that After Effects is going to apply the RotoBrush to. I'm just going to expand it all the way to the end of the layer so that we have more pixels that have been processed. All I have to do now is either go frame by frame here on the preview panel and notice that the mask moves with it, or I can go ahead and play it, in which case it's just going to go frame by frame and I can be ready to stop when I need to, like here. Notice that the girl's jeans are being taken by the mask. I'll go ahead and back up a little bit, and around here I'll tell the effect that I don't want those pixels there at the edge. So Option or Alt on Windows, and there you go. Now I can keep on going frame by frame if I need to, or just playing. And I can stop again because now part of the tree is being taken and part of the face right there, it's not being included. So I'll go around here and same thing, Alt or Option, and drag on the pixels that you don't want. And I'll go frame by frame just for a couple of frames here, just to make sure I include the ones from the face. And maybe these here. That's good. And I think I can go back to playing this. And a couple of mistakes here towards the end. I'll include these pixels. Let me back it up. Let's include these and these. There you go. And that might be all I need. Now, in here, there you go. And option click. Fantastic. And that's pretty good for what I need to do. I'm going to go back to the composition panel and I'm going to turn the toggle transparency grid on. And this is what I have, which looks pretty good for what I need. Alright, I can now duplicate this layer, Control or Command D, and I can remove the effect from the bottom one. So I'll just select it, go to the Effect Controls panel, click on Roto Brush and press Delete. And there you go. What I have now is a layer that looks like I have done nothing to it, but I'm going to go ahead and blur the bottom layer. So I'll go to the Effects and Presets panel and I'll type the words Fast Blur. And there it is, and I'll drag it to the bottom layer. I'm just going to go ahead and blur it a tad. And I'll repeat the edge pixels. And that's pretty good. Finally, I'm going to change the blending mode of the top layer to an overlay. And there you go. So this looks a little bit more scary or funnier depending on how you look at it. And that's a quick look at some basic compositing features in After Effects.